can't believe how customizable this thing is. This is the Globular Cluster magnetic facial interface for the Quest 3, and they reached out to me and asked me to check it out. And I've always heard really good things about this brand, so I wanted to check it out for myself. And personally, I've been rocking the default facial interface for years, mostly because I haven't found anything else I prefer until now. But I'll get into that later. Like, a lot of facial interfaces on the market tend to be made out of silicone, which I think is like terrible for like sweat. It just kind of pools on your face and feels really uncomfortable. I know silicone is cheap to produce, so I think that's why we see it on controller grips and facial interfaces, but I'm not a fan. And after unboxing it, it was way more customizable than what I thought. The great thing about this facial interface, it has options if you wear glasses, it has options if you get a little sweaty, it has options if you have a different size nose. It's completely customizable, and that's what really sets it apart. So let's get into it. In the box, you get your base adapter, and this has magnetics built in, which is where all the other interfaces attach to. And when slotting this into my Quest 3, instantly it just felt really snug, and I was like, oh, this is a high quality product. I've tried a lot of facial interfaces, and even the default one, like, it feels like you're gonna snap it when you put it in. So putting the Globular Cluster one in just felt really snug, and like I wasn't gonna snap it. So we were off to a good start with that one. And then in the box, you also get your spacers. Now these are mostly designed for people who wear glasses. So usually with the default head strap, you have the adjuster where you can kind of pull it out, and I swear this thing always feels like it's gonna break. I don't wear glasses anymore, I got LASIK, but I do know it is difficult for people who wear glasses. This could be a really easy way to extend the headset so you can wear your glasses underneath. So it magnetically attaches straight to the base adapter, which then gives you an extra 4 mil of clearance, and it recommends you try them with your glasses, and then if that's not enough, you can attach the 6 mil on top, or you can replace the 4 mil and do the 6 mil, whatever you want. So it's really great that you've got customizable options to test out which ones work best with your glasses. And if you don't wear glasses and just like a little bit extra room, like if you've got long eyelashes, I personally do have long eyelashes, so something like this can definitely be handy if you do have long eyelashes. You then have 3 different options based on your nose shape. So if you see these 3 different options here, they all have different distance around the nose bridge. So it even has a little guide where you can have a look and compare which kind of nose you have, and it recommends which frame based on your type of nose, because everyone's born different and not every facial interface is going to suit everyone. So I really love that they've got those options there. So we've got the low profile, a medium profile, and a high profile, which gives you a lot more gap. And this doesn't have to be really anything about your nose. It can really just come down to personal preference. One thing with the high upper interface, which I think is really thoughtful, they have added in these like silicone little nose bridge to avoid light leakage. So that's really handy if you want to use the high profile but don't want to get light leakage. Personally, I really dislike having these silicone things around your nose. I think the PlayStation VR has it, and I really don't like it. But the good thing is, this is all customizable. It's magnetic. You can just take it off and then pop it back on if you want it, or just remove it completely. I really, really like that feature, because when I first saw it, I'm like, not vibing that. And then I'm like, oh, it's removable. Awesome. Now, the great thing about these upper frames, they're actually quite flexible. So if you are just like storing them away in a box or something, or just worried you're gonna sit on your head strap or something, they're really flexible. I don't think you're gonna snap them easy. So I really like that design. But once you decide what frame you want, you just install the base onto your Quest 3 headset and then magnetically attach whatever upper frame you want. Now, a feature of these upper frames that I didn't realize until I unboxed it is that there's these sections here that are blocked out. You can remove these light blockers so you can have little gaps on the side there, if that's how you like to roll. And yeah, it's just magnetic, so you can pop it straight back on, and it works between the different interfaces. So I could take it off this one here and then attach it onto the other facial interface, and done. So if you're playing like an immersive VR game, you can pop it on so you're not getting any light leakage. Or if you're playing like a fitness game or rhythm game, you can take them off and then, yeah, have that extra airflow. And I think that's a really nifty feature. That's very cool. Now let's talk about these different facial pads. Of course, these are all removable as well. So say if you're going for the high upper interface, but you want a different material, these are all just velcroed in, so you can remove it and attach it to the one you want. So super customizable. How cool. The first option is the fabric pad, which I absolutely love. I've been a Valve Index user for years, not anymore, but it had a similar interface and I always really, really liked it. Like after hours and hours, literally like over 1,000 hours of Beat Saber, that thing is nasty. I always really appreciated the fabric interface because it just absorbed so much sweat. And apparently this one's washable, so that's very cool. So, you know, it's not gonna get all rank and nasty. Then next they have their breathable mesh material. And this one, it's quite nice. How would you describe it? It's kind of like swimming material, maybe? It kind of feels like that. I guess the weave isn't as thick or something inside it, but it definitely feels more breathable. I'm definitely gonna test these out and see which ones work the best. And again, this is why I do not like silicone. You want something to absorb the sweat, whereas silicone tends to like resist the sweat and it just ends up all around your face. I make VR videos online. You don't want to look like a sweaty mess after playing games, so I'm very excited for these. And then the third material is called PU. I don't know what PU stands for, but it's kind of like a fake leather material. I have seen these around. There was a headset that had something similar once, but it feels kind of like squishy. It feels really comfortable. It feels more luxury, I guess. I think I'm gonna opt for the fabric ones, I think, because I really like the sweat absorption. But this one I think is definitely your more comfort option. It does say it's sweat proof and easy to clean. I'm a makeup wearer, so having something easy to clean is definitely appreciated, because there's nothing worse when someone wants to borrow your VR headset and it's not good and it looks disgusting. So being able to wipe this with the cloth would be very handy. So once you choose which kind of fabric you want to go to and you've switched it on to the upper bridge you want to use, you just magnetically slot it straight into your base. And that's done. How easy. And then if you're playing a different game, like, oh, I'm going from fitness game to like story game, you can easily swap them out, which is really cool. These feel so good. I think I'm definitely a fan of having the light blockers. There's definitely a fair bit of light leakage, so it depends what you're doing. Like if you're doing VR rhythm games or fitness, it can come in handy. I think I'll definitely be installing the light blockers on these. Another great thing about this facial interface, it is compatible with pretty much all head straps. So I've got the Bobo Pro S3 and it works fine with that. Also works with your kind of elite straps with the ones that have the strap going to the front of the headset, and also your default head strap. You just need to double check the instructions to make sure the best way to install the facial interface based on what head strap you use. After testing out a few different options, I definitely prefer the low profile of the nose bridge. That's my preference. In terms of the material, I do like the fabric type ones. The PU or the, I don't know, kind of leathery one. That one's totally fine as well. It's quite comfortable. I find this way comfortable than the default ones. Like, I don't know why, but it's more comfortable. Less like pressure on my neck is what I mean. Like maybe because it's closer in than what these are. I'm excited to experiment to find the perfect setup for me. But all in all, I'm really impressed with this facial interface. I have been wanting a new facial interface for a while, and like I said, not a fan of silicone. So when I saw that this one had fabric options and also so many customizable options, and I'm really impressed with the quality. I am very grateful that they reached out to me. This video is sponsored, but after checking this out, I can definitely understand why Globular Cluster has such a good reputation that they do, and I'm pretty sure these things have really high ratings. I am really glad I got the ability to check this out because I'm so impressed. This one's gonna be my daily driver now, for sure. I'm still working out which upper bridge interface works best for me, but that's the great thing. I can just keep swapping them around until I define one I like. Thank you Globular Cluster for sponsoring this video. I'm really impressed with this product. If you want to check it out down below, I've got some links for you guys. Christmas is coming up. Maybe it's a good gift for yourself or somebody else, but I'm looking forward to playing some Beat Saber and making this all sweaty. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.